The text left my phone at 2:17 a.m. One sentence. No emoji, no explanation. I know what you told them about Mateo. Fix it before I do. My stomach dropped so hard the room tilted. 10 years disappeared in a single heartbeat. I sat up in the dark, sheets twisted around my legs like restraints, and stared at the name on the screen. Camilla, Mateo's little sister. She was 26 now, not the 16-year-old who used to beg us to let her tag along. She wasn't begging anymore. I typed 6 different replies and deleted them all, because there was nothing to fix. The secret was already out, leaking across the city like blood in water. By morning, every mutual friend we'd collected since we were 12 would know what Mateo had done. And they would know it was me who told. I opened the group chat I'd been drunk enough to post in 4 hours earlier. The message was still there, glowing like radioactive waste. Remember when Mateo killed that guy and we buried him in the ravine? Wild times lol, no one had answered yet, but the seen by list was growing. My hands shook so badly I dropped the phone. 10 years of silence. 10 years of pretending the night never happened. And I just shattered it with 8 careless words. I pulled on jeans, grabbed my keys, and ran barefoot into the hallway. Mateo lived 23 minutes away if I broke every speed limit between here and his apartment. I had maybe 30 minutes before he woke up and saw what I'd done. I never made it to the car. The elevator doors slid open on the lobby and he was already there, hood up, hands in pockets, eyes red like he hadn't slept either. He looked at me the way you look at someone right before you decide whether to kill them or forgive them. You told them, he said. Not a question. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. He stepped forward until we were an inch apart. His voice dropped to the whisper we'd used that night in the woods when we were 16 and terrified. You promised, Elías. You looked me in the eye and you promised. Then he punched me so hard the world went black before I hit the marble floor. 10 years earlier, August 23, 2015. The air smelled like pine needles and cheap vodka. We were drunk on stolen Smirnoff ice, trespassing on the old logging road above the ravine. Mateo carried a baseball bat he said was for protection. I believed him because I always believed him. The man appeared out of nowhere, mid-30s, leather jacket, pupils blown wide on something stronger than alcohol. He asked for a light. Mateo told him to fuck off. Words got loud fast. I remember the crack of the bat more than the scream. I remember the way the man's knees folded like someone had cut his strings. I remember Mateo standing over him, breathing hard, eyes huge, bat dripping. Elías, he said, voice cracking. He's not moving. We checked for a pulse. Nothing. We dragged him into the trees. We dug with our hands and the bat until the hole was deep enough. We covered him with dirt and leaves and lies. Then we sat on the tailgate of Mateo Ministro's truck and made the pact. If anyone ever finds out, Mateo said, we both go down together no matter what. I nodded. He sliced his palm with his pocket knife. I did the same. We pressed the cuts together until the blood mixed. Brothers forever, he whispered. Forever, I answered. We burned our clothes in a rusted barrel behind his house. We showered until the water ran cold. We never spoke of it again, until tonight. I woke up on my own couch with an ice pack on my face and Camilla sitting across from me, arms crossed. You look like shit, she said. I tried to sit up. My jaw felt broken. Did Mateo? He left after he knocked you out. I found you in the lobby. She held up my phone. I deleted the message from the group chat. Screenshots already out there though, people are freaking. I closed my eyes. How many saw it? 27 before I could stop it. Half are asking if it's a joke. Half think you finally snapped. She leaned forward. Tell me it was a joke, Elías. I couldn't. Her face changed, something hard and cold settling behind her eyes. You owe him a lifetime of silence, she said. You just gave him a death sentence. She stood up. Fix it, or I will. Then she walked out and left me bleeding on my own couch. I spent the next 6 hours calling, texting, showing up at doors. It was a dumb meme. Inside joke from when we were kids. Someone hacked my phone. Most people laughed it off. A few looked at me too long. By noon I had convinced maybe half the group it was fake. The other half weren't answering. I drove to Mateo's apartment. His truck was gone. His roommate said he packed a bag and left before dawn. No note. I sat on his steps and texted him for the 100th time. I'm sorry. Please let me fix this. The message stayed on delivered for 3 straight days. On the 4th day, Mateo came back. He walked into the bar where we used to celebrate birthdays and breakups and everything in between. The whole friend group was there. Someone had planned a let's laugh about Elias's mental breakdown night without asking me. The room went quiet when he stepped inside. He looked thinner, eyes hollow. He hadn't shaved. He walked straight to me, pulled out the chair across the table and sat. Everyone waited. Finally he spoke, voice calm. "It was a joke, right, Elias?" I swallowed. "Yeah, stupid joke." He nodded slowly. "Then we're good." He stood up, clapped me on the shoulder hard enough to hurt, and left. No one believed him. No one believed me. But for a little while, we pretended. The next months were a masterclass in pretending. We still hung out. We still played FIFA on Thursdays. We still said, "Love you, bro," when we were drunk. But everything was poisoned. People stopped inviting Mateo to certain parties. His little cousin got pulled over and the cop asked, "Any relation to the Mateo who supposedly buried a guy?" His mom found out from a church friend. She cried for 3 days and wouldn't look at him. He lost his job, background check for a promotion turned up anonymous concerns. Every time something went wrong, he looked at me like I was the one holding the knife. I started drinking alone. 6 months after the text, Camilla showed up at my apartment at 1 a.m. She threw a flash drive on my coffee table. "Everything you need to confess," she said. "Recorded statement, map to the ravine, DNA proof if they ever dig. You turn yourself in, say Mateo had nothing to do with it. You take the fall, he walks." I stared at her. "I'd go to prison for murder." "You'd go to prison for manslaughter, maybe less, you were 16. Her voice didn't waver. "He's innocent now because of you, make him innocent for real." I laughed, a broken sound. He swung the bat cam. "You helped bury the body, you swore silence, you broke the oath." She stepped closer. "You owe him your life, Elias, pay it." She left the drive and walked out. I didn't sleep. I wrote the confession, I drew the map. I put the flash drive in an envelope addressed to the police. Then I drove to the ravine at 3 a.m. The trees had grown. The path was different. But I found the spot. Slightly sunken earth, younger pines growing where we dug. I sat there until sunrise, envelope in my lap, crying like a child. I couldn't do it. I burned the envelope in the same rusted barrel behind Mateo's old house. A year after the text. We were drunk again, anniversary of the night, though neither of us said it. He looked at me across the fire pit in his backyard and said, "You still have nightmares." "Every night," I admitted. He nodded. "Me too." Silence, then. "Sometimes I wish you just kept your fucking mouth shut." The words hung there. I laughed bitter. "You think I don't?" He stood up. "You ruined my life, Elias. You ruined both our lives the night you swung that bat." He crossed the space in 2 steps and shoved me hard. I fell into the chairs. We fought like animals, fists, teeth, knees. 10 years of guilt and terror exploding. Camilla ran out screaming, tried to pull us apart. Mateo got me on the ground, fist raised, tears streaming. "I hate you," he sobbed. "I fucking hate you." I looked up at him and said the worst thing I could have said. "I hate you too." He let go and walked away. We haven't spoken since. 2 years after the text. Someone sent an anonymous tip to the cold case unit. They dug up the ravine. They found bones. They found the bat with Mateo's fingerprints. He'd kept it all these years like a trophy. They came for him on a Tuesday morning. I watched from my car across the street as they put him in cuffs. Camilla stood on the porch screaming. He looked straight at my car. Our eyes met through the windshield. He didn't fight. He just nodded, like he'd known this was coming the moment I hit send. Manslaughter. 16 years old at the time. No prior record, good family. The prosecutor offered 12 years. His lawyer took it. I sat in the back row every day. Camilla wouldn't look at me. On the last day before they took him away, Mateo asked to speak to me. The bailiff led us into a side room, just us and the humming fluorescent light. He looked smaller in the orange jumpsuit. "I forgave you a long time ago," he said quietly. I started crying. "I never forgave myself," I whispered. He nodded. "That's punishment enough." Then he hugged me first time in 2 years, and they led him away. I visit him once a month. We play chess through the glass. He's studying for a degree inside. Says he wants to counsel kids when he gets out. Camilla moved to Spain. She sends me a birthday text every year that just says, "Still hate you." Some nights I drive to the ravine and sit where we buried the man whose name we never learned. I say I'm sorry out loud to the trees. They never answer. 10 years of silence. 1 moment of drunken stupidity. A lifetime to pay for both. And the worst part? I still love him like a brother. I always will. Follow Elias attempting suicide and being saved by an unlikely person. Discovering the dead man had a daughter who looks exactly like Camilla. choosing to anonymously fund her college as penance. Mateo's letters from prison that slowly heal the rift. The day Mateo gets early release for good behavior. The reunion that breaks every reader's heart. And the final scene 10 years later. Two grown men standing at the ravine, scattering wildflower seeds over the spot where everything began and ended, finally saying the words they never could. We were kids, we did a terrible thing, we paid for it, we're free.